Guys Talking Ball podcast back again for another week. A little bit of a different, more somber mood. This is the first time that I've been unable to come on this show and really feel myself as Michigan the last 3 years since we have started this. First time that Michigan has lost to Ohio State. And I'm not going to lie, it doesn't feel good. I mean, some of my favorite episodes of this show have been coming on the week after Michigan beat Ohio State. Well, we didn't do it in 21, but 22, 23, and then last year. Very exciting opportunity for me to gloat a little bit and really enjoy the win and give Ohio State fans some humble pie. And now I am back on the other end of it. It does not feel.
Now, Dylan, I have to ask the question that everyone on the internet is wondering. And when I say everyone on the internet, I'm just not talking three guys talking ball podcast listeners. I'm talking everybody. How does it feel to know that your team will gladly defend the midfield logo of their house? Well, they won't let the visitors plant a flag, but they'll go plant a flag the year before. How does that make you feel?
This is such a bitch-made move, man. I was so over that. I was like, what are we doing? You got your ass kicked. Defend the goal line. Who gives a shit about the midfield flag? Ohio State kicked your ass for 60 minutes. If they want to plant a flag, they are more than welcome to do so because they just put an absolute ass whooping on us. Now, I will say, this game, it wasn't anything that Michigan did or didn't do. This is solely on the horrible Big Ten officiating that cost Michigan this game. Their top two running backs were out. Max Bredesen was out. That's really what this game came down to. That's why Michigan lost. It wasn't because Ohio State was the better team. It was because the officiating was horrible. Without Justice Haynes and Jordan Marshall and not having Max Bredesen, not having Ernest Hausman. That was why Michigan lost. Now, am I sounding like, is that how I'm supposed to do that? It's been since pre-COVID for me to come up with an excuse or to come up with the reasoning why Michigan lost to Ohio State. Am I doing that correctly, Grant?
Kinda. But the problem is Dylan, you guys couldn't score a touchdown. You managed.
Well, that's because horrible officiating, though.
Well, but you're saying that if it wasn't for the horrible officiating and you weren't out these injured players, you'd have scored.
Ohio State wouldn't have scored.
Stop because your defense isn't that good. But your offense would have scored at least a touchdown on Saturday.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they
would have gotten maybe a short field or something.
They would have needed 4 to score, and that wasn't going to happen. So. I'm sorry, but your impersonation of a bitchy Ohio State fan just isn't getting there. It's not believable enough because you're truly not as sad and somber as they were in some of those videos I saw. This is me before the OSU Michigan game. This is me after. Your head's not pounded against the wall. You're not walking down the street. You're not somehow on the roof of your house. Like some of those Ohio State fans. So. You tried, but it didn't land.
Okay, well, I for one, I'm unbiased. I am not a hater. I will give Ohio State all the credit in the world. They were the better team. It was ugly. Sharon Moore coached scared, which was my one hope is you'd see him cut it loose a little bit. Bryce Underwood was regressed. He had one more passing yard than Davis Warren had last year in the game. Andrew Marsh had 0 targets. There's a lot of they went 9-3, but it's an empty 9-3.
I was going to say that's always my biggest gripe with college football coaches and then fans and people in the media, they want to talk about, oh, my team won 9 games this year. My team won 8 games for the 10th year in a row. There's a lot of empty calories in wins when it comes to college football. Like every year in the non-conference, you can guarantee every Big Ten team for the most part is either going to go 2-1 or they're going to go 3-0. And then just with the sheer talent that Michigan has on its roster, 6 wins is the bare minimum. Bare minimum they should have in the Big Ten every single year because they have better players than everyone else. So I was going to ask you if this 9-3 felt good or if it felt a little kind of empty, a little hollow.
It was definitely hollow, just because. Now, the problem is that their 3 losses, it was the exact same team of where they just didn't. There was no juice. There was no creativity on offense. The defense got and I shouldn't even say that because the defense didn't play horrible against Ohio State. I think Ohio State really didn't mash on the gas like they could have. I think the weather probably helped with that because that game was not a 27-9. That game felt like a 49 type of game.
Yeah. Well, and Dylan, I didn't want to text this to you or Ethan in the group because I didn't want to break your spirits, and this is just not who I am. But going into halftime, when I was watching that game, I was just like, Ohio State has this Michigan team figured out, and it's going to get ugly, and it's going to get ugly fast.
Yeah.
Like I said, I didn't feel like being that guy to you because that's not who I want to be.
I knew exactly what was happening.
But I was just like, you know what? He doesn't need to hear this from someone else, but we were all thinking it.
Oh, I was thinking. I was like, because my dad called me at halftime. He's like, well, it's only a 1-score game. I was like, or no, was it 24-9? No, it was 17-9 at that point. But it was like, this feels like it was 31-9. I was like, there's nothing that gives me any hope at all.
Dylan, also what's kind of concerning or maybe annoying for you as a Michigan fan with this team, you talked excuse me, you talked about the 3 losses. No juice, no creativity, and the defense in every game kind of slowly losing their will to live. This was on paper the 3 biggest games of the year.
Yes, absolutely.
And like when you commit to go to Michigan, if I'm a guard from Indianapolis, nice high school player, and I commit to go to Michigan to play big D1 football, when I'm playing Oklahoma, when I'm playing USC, Ohio State, and if they play Penn State or Oregon, if you're on the road at Kinnick, I'm not going to say Iowa's a big game when they come to the big house, but if you go to Kinnick, you can make it a big game, well, for the sake of argument. That's when I want my players to show up, and they just seemed flat. And that has to kind of annoy you a little bit.
Yeah. And I wouldn't say it was the defense that was flat, but there was a lot of with the defense though that they especially in the second half or for a good chunk of the game, it felt like they felt like more like winning the fight after the play, like the shoving, the shit talking, I was just like, stop, play the game, worry about the game, not worry about what's going to happen after the whistle.
Well, and you know that, but that's when you know as a player, that's when you know you're getting manhandled and you're getting frustrated.
Yes,
those players knew that game was over.
Yeah, and it's worry. Well, I mean, I'm not ready to give up on Sherrone Moore yet. There's some changes that needs to happen. The first thing, one of the steps that I was going to mention did happen today. He relieved their special teams coach of his duties. Thank God. You can't have an 11-yard punt or like the amount of times where it was just horrible and give the offense good field position. Can't have. The next part is he's got to actually hire a quarterback coach, not just have the offensive coordinator be the OC and the quarterback coach. He needs somebody that is in there with Bryce at all times to really develop him, because Bryce regressed this year. I mean, towards the end of the year, there was just nothing. I mean, outside of the Maryland game, but there were too many times that just he wasn't making the right reads, or he panicked, and he was scared, or just didn't look good, or wasn't living up to the 5-star rating. I think there's a lot of talent. I think there's a lot of optimism for him, but you got to find a quarterback coach, new special teams coach. I like the way the offensive line progressed. I mean, three freshmen. The best one missed all of the year because of an injury. They're putting together a pretty big package to try and get Justice Haynes to stay. Jordan Marshall will be back. It's not official yet, but he is verbally committed. He hasn't signed. I think they're working through some NIL negotiations to officially sign him. It sounds like he's going to sign it tomorrow morning, but they do have the top running back in the country, Savion Hyder, as well. That's 3 good backs. Something that's going to really split the carries up. And the other part is just the amount of injuries that they had in practice this year. Guys that, like, you would expect them to play, and then all of a sudden the game kicks off and they do the injury report and it's like, when did he get hurt?
Now, Dylan, is Sharon, is he calling plays or someone else?
No, it's Chip Lindsey. Chip Lindsey's the play caller. He was the OC for Gus Malzahn when Jarrett Stidham was the quarterback. He's also Drake May's OC at North Carolina. That's where he came from before he was with Mac Brown.
Okay.
So I'd like to see him go out, add some receivers as well. But yeah, there's a lot, and we're going to find out with a bowl game, because it looks like they're going to be either playing Texas or Vanderbilt, both teams. Who knows what you're going to get out of Texas, because we'll talk about the playoffs here in a little bit, or a little bit further down the line, as far as some possibilities that could be happening. But it was either Texas or Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, I mean, 10-2, looking to win their 11th game. That's going to be big for them as far as a program standpoint. And then Texas, I mean, it's Texas. I mean, depending on who plays and who doesn't, they're probably going to be pissed off. And, I mean, Michigan doesn't really – it kind of seems like the Harbaugh 16-19 years, where after that Ohio State loss, they don't seem super motivated to be in a bowl game or to be there. But I think the 15 practices that they're going to get for a bowl game, I think that's a good opportunity, especially, if they hire a quarterback coach in between these practices where Bryce can work with, and then get an offseason to work with him. I think there's some good steps, but and next year is not easy at all. They got to go to Ohio State. They have Indiana. They have Iowa. They got to go to Ohio State. Did I say that already? Or did I say they got to go to Oregon?
You said that already. I think, is it
they got to go to Oregon.
Again? Is it Oklahoma again?
They have Oklahoma at home. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They have Oklahoma, and then Texas.
That's right. Because then Texas.
I believe.
Yeah, because excuse me, because Texas has Ohio State down there next year, and then Michigan the year after.
Yes. As Randy Harmstead on YouTube says, look at them legs of yours, Grant.
People have been commenting on the legs recently, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna give the people what they want. What can we say?
You'll find them on footfinder.com.
Feet Finder soon, and also, today was leg day. Maybe I did this on purpose. You never know. I could put a blanket on because it's winter, but no, we're gonna let these puppies breathe and give the people what they want.
And he says, "Flex them bussin' calves, boy."
Dylan, I'm trying to get to your level of calves. It's
That's
not
a tough
fair.
one.
because you were one of the genetically gifted friends out there who have just some fucking meaty calves. I'm
That's
trying to
right.
get there. Um, so maybe someday, but not today.
Okay, well that's all you got to do is you just
Mm-hmm.
strive for it. But yeah, another thing you can strive for, Grant, is to not exit Ole Miss the way Lane Kiffin did to go to LSU. It was finally on Sunday. It was finally announced that he was going to take the LSU job after. I think he knew that he was taking the job about 2 weeks ago. I think Ole Miss knew, and I
You
mean,
know when
do you
call
expect
me
anything else from Lane Kiffin?
no, I wouldn't. And call me crazy. You know what I think he expected, honestly, when he first thought he was going to take this job, Dylan?
What's that?
After the Georgia game. When
Yeah.
Ole Miss, I think after that, that's when it popped in his head like, we didn't get a stop on defense all day. Um, I can only do so much in terms of building my defense in the transfer portal, which he's great at. But the meat and bones of your roster is still built through recruiting. And I think that's when he said, I can't compete with these schools at Ole Miss. So I think
You
that's
know,
when it started to really creep in his head.
I think long term, consistently to be a consistent winner, I think going to LSU is the right answer. Just because of that, he's going to be able to get better defensive players.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be coaching his future. Well, no, I can't remember if Weeks is a senior or not. If he'll be back next year,
I
but
think he
coaching his.
actually broke his ankle against Ole Miss, so maybe he redshirted. Maybe he got a medical or something. So who knows? He might be back. Or did I see something
Okay,
today that he maybe entered the transfer portal? Well,
Weeks
just
did.
because, yeah, but just because you enter, it could be about something that's not true on social media. Because unfortunately, you can't believe everything you read on the internet, unlike what they like to tell you.
Well, he's only 20 years old, so he
Okay.
might have another year. He was born in '05, so his freshman year was 23, so he'd be a senior this year.
Okay. Okay.
So he does have another year left, but he will be able to. I think he's able to get better players more consistently than he would be at Ole Miss. But
Mm-hmm.
he's also has the 5 worst exits or the most circus exits in coaching history when you go back to the projector when he got fired by the Raiders,
Now,
the
sorry,
Tennessee
Dylan.
debacle where they were burning
Ref-
couches.
refresh us on the projector with the Raiders because those two exits I'm not familiar with, the Tennessee and the Raiders
So
one.
so when the so when Lane Kiffin got fired from the Raiders, it was Al Davis brought a projector and had like a PowerPoint presentation about why he fired Lane Kiffin. And
No
then the
shit.
Tennessee, it was kind of late. I want to say it was like in like February, um, or January, like quite a ways after because Pete Carroll left to take the USC job,
Or the
and I think
the Seahawks job.
yeah, yes, and it was late. It was late in the cycle, and he had a pretty good first year at Tennessee. I can't remember what his record was, but I think they lost to like Florida and Alabama. I think those were his only 2 losses that year. And they were at like it was like some SEC meetings. It was like
Mm-hmm.
the winter meetings or something, and it like broke that he took the USC job while it was in either Nashville or Atlanta. I can't remember. He talks about it in his documentary on ESPN, and it caused like a ruckus where they were like the students were burning couches, they were throwing them into the yard, like it was like a riot scene in Knoxville. Which I mean,
Nice.
you don't really expect anything less from Tennessee fans.
No, no, you don't, because they're disgusting pigs who live in the past. and who, frankly, aren't that educated. But here we are.
And then obviously at USC gets fired on the tarmac.
Mm-hmm.
Goes to Alabama. He doesn't finish that 2016 season because he had taken the
FAU.
Was it 16 or 17?
It was 16. It was the year they lost.
It was 16. Yep. Yeah, because he took the FAU job because he was trying to balance both of them, and Saban just told him just go to where Boca Raton. That's where FAU is.
Yeah.
And there, and then now here we are at Ole Miss. And I've always defended Lane, and I've always liked Lane, but the way like that he's tried to portray himself as he is the victim in this situation, let's just stop. You're not the victim. You made a choice. If you wanted to stay and coach Ole Miss in the playoffs, you could have just stayed at Ole Miss. But you didn't. You wanted to go coach at LSU. That's your decision. But don't stand here and have this whole poor me situation that you don't get to coach because they don't let you. It's like, well, I don't know too many situations where they're going to let you go to a rival school and then you get to finish out the year that you're coaching at. And by the sounds of it, most of the players were like, go, get out. We don't want you.
Well, and Dylan, it's telling, because Lane has to break the news. It can't be Pete Thamel. It can't be Schefter. It can't be McMurphy. It's got to be him. And he puts out that thing, his tweet or his statement, saying that he wished he could have finished the season, but higher up said no. It's telling when a lot of your players sit back and say, that's a straight up lie. Like this dude, we did not want him to stay. We wanted him gone.
And if you hear that the announce, because he didn't have the team meet, met with the leadership council, and that's where it was basically you can go. And if you hear the reaction when the AD announced that it was announced that Golding was going to be the full-time head coach, you hear the cheers from that meeting, which somehow it was snuck in that he was when there was supposed to be no phones allowed, but you could tell that this team, they're focused, they're ready to go. Trinidad Chambliss said he probably played his best game against Mississippi State. I'm curious to see, because I think he has another year of eligibility left. Be curious to see if his brother Tobago and him, Trinidad and Tobago, if they both follow Lane to LSU or if they both stay at Ole Miss.
That's a tough one because I understand how they love Golding and Pete as your new head coach, but the fact that Charlie Weiss Jr. is going with him and pretty much that whole offensive staff, and there's no way in hell Nussmeier's staying. Unless he thinks, you know what, maybe I'm not NFL ready in a year under Lane Kiffin would be good for me. But if Nussmeier decides to go out, I think they're gone. I think Lane's got his quarterback next year already.
Which you also didn't even get my joke. Thanks.
Trinidad and Tobago?
Yeah. Yes. I don't he doesn't have an actual brother Tobago, but I figured it was worth a shot.
Sorry, I heard it. I did not acknowledge it, but I did hear it, and I did enjoy that, Dylan.
Okay, well, that's good. Also, yes. Aaron Walling, 55, says, in reference to your Tennessee comment, he said, that's so insulting to Tennessee fans. If only they could figure out YouTube to watch this.
That's beautiful. I just saw today that it's signing day, so I'll get this in here because Ethan's not here to talk about it. Tennessee got like 3 5-star players, and they're like, oh, vibes are high on Rocky Top. Well, yeah, they're ready for another 8-4 season next year.
Yeah. That is a very, very true. They're still not recovered from that ass whooping they took to a bunch of nerds.
It's not even the Volunteer State anymore. It's the Commodore State.
It's the Commodore State, yeah.
It's the Commodore State, assholes.
It's the Diego Pavia's mom state.
You know what? Just for the sake of the internet, I hope her and Theo Vaughn get together. I just want to hear Theo Vaughn's story the next day. Yo, dude, go Diego Pavia's mom last night, dude. I can't wait for that.
Well, his brother got arrested at the Tennessee game for public intoxication.
I did see that, which is fucking awesome, dude.
It's like the second or third time this year.
Mm-hmm.
He likes to party, but
no, congratulations, Tennessee. You got a 5-star quarterback, a receiver, and a corner who probably can't cover. Heupel, you're doing a great job. And then those inbred hillbillies down there who can't even get to YouTube. I love it.
But also Vandy is celebrating this, but I don't think they will be celebrating on Sunday because I don't think they're going to be getting into the playoff. The rankings came out yesterday, and we will do a little bit of the rundown here. We'll start at 14, which is Vandy. 13 is Texas, 12 is Miami, 11 is BYU, 10 is Notre Dame, 9 Alabama, 8 Oklahoma, 7 Texas A&M, who just lost to Texas, 6 Ole Miss, 5 Oregon, 4 Texas Tech, 3 Georgia, 2 Indiana, and 1 Ohio State. So Ohio, whoever wins the 10 championship, they're going to get the 1 seed. Whoever loses it, I think regardless of what that final score is, I don't think they drop below a 3. I think if you win, you're the 1. If you lose, you're the 3, I would say.
I agree. And then also it depends also in that SEC title game, Dylan, because if Alabama wins, I don't think they'll jump up into the top 4, but that takes Georgia out.
Yes. And I am very curious to see if Alabama does win, who gets that final bye? Because Ohio State and Indiana are locks to get the bye. I think Texas Tech beats BYU. They're getting a bye.
Dylan, call me crazy. Do they reward Alabama for beating Georgia twice? For beating Tennessee, the close loss at home to Oklahoma. For beating Vanderbilt. Who else in that? And they beat LSU. Does Alabama jump? Do you think? Does Alabama go from 9 to 4?
If they don't lose to Florida State, I would say yes. I'm curious to see how much the committee knocks Alabama for that loss to Florida State. If they win or if they lose, how far down they get knocked out. Because I think if they lose to Georgia, they're going on the road somewhere. Because with 3 losses, I think they should be in. I don't think they should be penalized for playing in the SEC championship game.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they stay put or they go down to a 10 or 11 they might actually just stay 10 because you still got to have a group of 5 team and whoever wins comes out of the ACC.
So technically, I thought I heard someone say that it's 4 of the 5 are guaranteed a spot in, and it's the 4 who are the highest ranked. So to your point, if Duke wins the ACC, Duke is not getting in. It'll be the group of 5.
No. You think they would put 2? They wouldn't put 2 group of 5 teams in. I think Miami would.
I think Miami would reap that benefit if Duke wins. I think then.
Yes.
Probably James Madison.
That's the only way Miami gets in, I say.
Yeah, it's the only way Miami gets in. If James Madison wins, and I think they're the group of 5 team. And also the fact that, well, every group of 5 team possibly in this thing doesn't have a head coach anymore. But I think James Madison gets in, and I think Miami would then sneak in if Virginia beats them. If Duke beats Virginia, excuse me.
Yes, because I think if Virginia wins, I think they would be in.
Yeah, yes. Because they'd be higher than the group of 5 champion. 1 second here. Patty?
They would. Oklahoma, they're in. A&M is in. I wonder if the committee would put Ole Miss or Oregon in that 4 spot as well. I think those could be the 3 teams battling for that 4th bye, depending on what happens. Because Ole Miss only has 1 loss, A&M only has the 1 loss. I think you would probably almost have to move A&M over Ole Miss because and I'm also curious too, how much does Ole Miss get knocked down because Lane Kiffin isn't coaching there anymore?
I don't think it's going to mean as much as if they would have lost one of their star players. Losing the coach, yeah, it sucks, but the fact that they still have their whole roster there, they can still play with anybody. So I don't think they'll be penalized that much.
Yep.
But I think also right now, if Alabama beats Oregon, Georgia, I think Oregon sitting there at 5 is going to sneak into that second bye because also, Dylan, hear me out. Now in this latest college football ranking, Iowa's back at 23. That's another top 25 win for the Ducks, and they're sitting there at 5.
And also, the other curious thing is the other debate. Well, I think there's still 2 more that we could go over is the Notre Dame Miami, because Miami did win head to head, and it's similar to what this Texas situation is. And you see, he was hurt. You saw him after the A&M game, really politicking to get in over the that they need to be in the playoff, and start talking about, well, we don't have a reason to schedule these Power 4 games for if we just go out and schedule. And you know what, Sark? You're absolutely correct. Maybe don't lose to 4-8 Florida. Did you ever think of that? Did you ever think maybe we shouldn't lose to Florida, where their coach was fired 2 weeks after? You had a great win. You have 3 top 14 wins, more than any other team in this bracket right now. Correct. But show me where any of these teams lost to a 4-8 team.
And also where they were down by 21 points against a team with 1 conference win in the year in Mississippi State. And then having to go to overtime against Kentucky on the road. You were the preseason number 1 team in America, and you had a 3-week stretch where you couldn't beat the bottom feeders of the Southeastern Conference. Give me a break. Also, you went to Georgia and lost by 25 points and got thoroughly outclassed in that game. What makes you think you deserve to be in this game, to be in this playoff? Just because you're the University of Texas, you have a lot of money, and according to 24/7, your roster's the number, let's say 3 roster in the country. Get out of here with that nonsense. Win some games, Sark. Smash some people.
Yes. And is Texas probably one of the 12 best teams in the country? Probably. But we got to reward on-field results.
Texas is a top 12 team at home. Texas on the neutral site or on the road. I don't care what anyone says. That Mateer injury changed that OU game. I think they play right now. I think Oklahoma I think they win by 7 points.
Yeah. I mean, Mateer is playing better.
Mateer is playing better.
He did throw 4 interceptions against LSU, but I think he rushed back from that injury.
Yeah, he did. He got arrogant. He was feeling the Heisman love. They were I think undefeated at the time, and he came back way too early.
Yep.
But Dylan, you know what's interesting? You know what's really going to throw a wrench in this whole thing, and what these at-large teams don't want to happen? That's BYU winning.
Yes.
Because Texas Tech is in. They're in.
Tech is in regardless. Yep.
Tech is in regardless. The only thing for them is they're playing for the bye. If Tech loses, BYU is in because they're at 11 right now, and BYU probably goes from 11 to let's say 9 or 8. So there's a game out in Provo. That's one less spot for a team, like Miami or Notre Dame even. Because if you look at it, then it's like, oh, shoot, what do we do here? So there's going to be a lot of schools rooting hard for Texas Tech on Saturday. So that essentially just eliminates BYU.
Yeah, and the argument about, well, you can't penalize team for losing in their conference championship or playing that extra game. If BYU gets the doors blown off them again by Texas Tech, I'm sorry, you can't put them in. You can't. They don't do it for me. They beat Utah, but outside of that, they don't really have that many impressive wins. And when I watched the one time I watched BYU play this year, outside of Bear Bachmeier, and if you shut down his running ability, you get the result that you had when they went to Lubbock. It's not a close game.
And like we talked earlier today about these kind of watered down wins, the Big 12 conference this year, minus the top 3 teams, if you ask me, really watered down. Like, is that 9-3 Arizona team really that good? Arizona State, they couldn't figure it out this year. Iowa State, they couldn't figure it out. Oklahoma State was a mess. Baylor, very average again. It's, this whole resume, the strength of schedule, strength of this BYU looks good on paper, this, and that. Yeah, but also, just let's look at their competition. And it's just not there. And like I said, if you get blown out twice by a top 4 team in this country, I don't want you in the dance. You don't deserve to be in the dance.
No, but they do deserve to get a crumble cookie.
Absolutely, they deserve to get. Everybody deserves a good crumble cookie.
Unless you're Penn State. But before we go to we move on, we got to talk Notre Dame. All they had to do was win one of these 2 games, and they're a lock to get in. There's part of me that goes back to the Texas argument of, you schedule these games, and I think head-to-head should matter. And maybe that's why I would put Miami in. And do I think at this moment Notre Dame is better than Miami? Yes, I probably do. But they played on the field. They had a chance to see, and that's why in theory, why these games are scheduled is to have an advantage over one of these teams where it could be a final team in, and Miami is able to check the box that they beat Notre Dame.
Yeah, and also we talked about BYU losing 2 games to Texas Tech, big, a powerful playoff team. Notre Dame also lost at home to Texas A&M. Let's not forget that. Why are we penalizing them? Why are we benefiting them for going out and playing a tough 2-game stretch to start the season, but then also maybe penalizing Texas? At the end of the day, Notre Dame, they didn't beat anybody. And also, we saw a game on August 31st or September 1st, like you said, against the Miami Hurricanes, and Notre Dame did not belong on that field that day with them. So, of course, Miami should feel slighted, and they should be in over Notre Dame, but unfortunately, they're not. We all know Notre Dame's going to get in. It's a cash cow for college sports, and they're just going to set up some epic Week 1 game where Notre Dame is playing someone, and it's going to be the highest-rated game of the weekend.
Yeah, I don't even know who they would play Week 1 next year, but
well, sorry, I'm saying Week 1 of the playoff, and right now it's as scheduled. Texas A&M would be the rematch.
Yeah, and Lion Life 95 says Oklahoma gets 1 win in playoffs max. Yes, I think if they play Alabama again, I think they would lose, but I don't think they would get past the quarterfinals.
That's the matchup now, actually.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree. Their offense Mateer, yeah, he's going to have 3 weeks off, but there's still something off about them. They don't have that explosiveness to them. But I think they can win a game in Norman with that defense and the home crowd. But then you get them on a neutral site against Indiana or Ohio State against those two defenses. There's not a chance in hell.
No,
excuse me. They're beating any of those teams, or even Texas Tech.
That would be a fun one. We would get an old-fashioned Big 12 shootout with that one. But
I would low-key love that as a possible 3-6 game.
It wouldn't be a bad one. No, I don't think Oklahoma's going to get up to the 6 though.
Yeah, or a 2-set. But then I'm just trying to throw numbers out to get that matchup. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. So, but yeah, we'll see what happens on Sunday. Selection Sunday is we'll find out what the playoff matchups are. But we've got some more playoffs that have already started actually, and that is the FCS playoffs. We got the second round coming up on Saturday, and we're gonna pick our winners for the second round here, and we're gonna get started, Grant, in the 5-12 matchup. The Lehigh Mountain Hawks taking on the 12-seeded Villanova Wildcats. Who do you got in this one?
Well, Villanova
Lehigh is undefeated.
School.
They are. They do have a national title in football. Back in, I believe it would have been 2009.
Did they beat Northern Iowa that day, or am I crazy?
They beat. I believe they beat them in the semifinals that year.
Okay.
And because they beat Montana in the national title.
Maybe I'm thinking App State beat Northern Iowa in a title early mid-2000s. I could be thinking.
That does sound right. Yes.
Well, Villanova's a basketball school, and Lehigh has upset Duke in the college basketball tournament, so I'm taking Lehigh.
You're taking Lehigh to stay undefeated? You know what, though? You know what Villanova has that Lehigh doesn't? The Pope did not go to Lehigh. The Pope did go to Villanova. So give me the Wildcats to pull the upset. And then
I like where your head's at.
Let's go to the 6-11 matchup. The Mercer Bears take on the University of South Dakota Coyotes, the 11 seed. South Dakota has battled back from an 0-3 start and found their way into the playoffs. They have had 2 weeks off now because their bye week was the final week of the regular season. So they've had 2 weeks off here, and they're going to go get to a warm weather. Or no, I shouldn't say they've had 2 weeks off. Not true. They played last week. They beat Drake. So they had a week off, beat Drake. Now they get to go travel down to Mercer in Georgia. And I think it's in Macon, Georgia. I believe that's where Mercer is. That sounds right. I'm not 100% positive.
Well, in the wild, Bears will always beat Wolves. So
Coyotes,
give me Mercer.
Not Wolves.
Coyotes. Yeah. That's even more of an unfair fight. So Bears over Coyotes. And just because South Dakota used to have that awful AstroTurf, give me the Mercer Bears.
That's a reason to pick Mercer. I believe Mercer is grass. And
football is meant to be played on grass, so even better.
You know what? I'm disagreeing with you again, Grant. I got the Coyotes. I trust Aiden Bauman more than I trust Mercer, whatever they have at quarterback. I think Mercer's had a nice run, but I think the Valley is the toughest conference, is the SEC of the FCS, and I think they're battle tested. And Mercer hasn't had to handle the rigors of a Missouri Valley schedule. So give me the Coyotes to go down and take care of the Bears. And we'll stay in the South. We'll just go 2 states over to the West we'll go over to Texas, where Tarleton State is taking on the UND Fighting Hawks. UND, their starting quarterback is, I don't believe, is going to be playing. He suffered a concussion against Tennessee Tech, which might have been one of the dirtiest plays I've ever seen, where the guy, you tackle him, and the guy just speared his head into the turf, into Kaminsky's head onto the turf. Like the definition of targeting, there wasn't a flag. They didn't review it. There was nothing. And he did not look good on the sidelines at all. So, and if he was healthy, and I've taken a lot of shots, and he's the main reason South Dakota State is in the playoffs because of the amount of turnovers that he had in that final game of the year. No, Raleigh is is barking.
Yep, we got a dog. We got a dog.
I'm going to take Tarleton to beat the Fighting Hawks.
Dylan, we're finally going to agree on one here, because come playoff time, that's not what I want my backup quarterback in. Simple as that.
Nope. And well, the guy starting this week, he was the starter last year, but is not. There's a reason he's been the backup this year. Great holder, but not the reason he's not a starting quarterback. I believe he played some receiver at some point too this year. But
so
moving along,
he could be a finalist for the Pete Martell Holder of the Year. You're saying?
Correct. Yes.
Good.
Yes. Maybe. I don't know. I don't watch enough UND games closely. I know the kicker was horrible, so probably not. But we're going to go up to the north now, and we're going to go over to my neighbors to the west. We're going to Montana State, the 2 seed, takes on the Yale Bulldogs, who pulled off an upset, one of the only non-seeded teams to win this week. They were down 42-14 with 3 minutes to go in the third and came back to win 43-42. Then the Nerds overtook the Penguins, Grant. And do you think they can overtake the Bobcats?
I do not think so.
No.
No.
I don't either. Give me the.
I think this will be a fairly quick one. Kind of like sometimes in basketball, where if you're down by 20 points in a game, 25 points, and you come back to get it within 4 or 6, and you just can't finish the comeback. That's going to be Yale this week. They put all their energy and power and effort into coming back to beat Youngstown. Then they have to fly back home, fly all the way out to Bozeman. It's not happening.
I am impressed that you knew your differences between Montana State and Montana, Grant. That's good. You're learning some things.
I listen to you, Dylan.
So, okay, we're going to put this to the test here. Is the University of Montana east or west of Bozeman?
I want to say it is a little west.
Correct. You got it. Missoula is 2 hours west. Fun fact for you about the Cat Grizz game is for a while, they used to meet in the middle in a town called Butte, Montana, and that's where they would play the Cat Grizz game every year back in like the 40s or 50s. I can't remember when it was. I'd have to look it up, but they did used to play in Butte, but Montana gets to take on.
Dylan, would you like to know why I know Missoula is west of Bozeman?
I would love to.
So it's kind of a two-parter here. My dad, he's just your typical dad. He loves looking at his road atlas. You're talking somewhere about this country. You're talking about somewhere in the state of Virginia. So right next to the couch, boom, pulls out his road atlas, and he looks it over. Well, one day, when Yellowstone was on and I was watching that, I was just curious about the geography of the state of Montana. And then I saw where Bozeman was, and then I saw, oh, Missoula. I've heard Dylan talk about that, where the Grizz are, and I saw that Missoula was a little west of Bozeman. So that's how I know. Because one, my dad
All
had a
right.
road atlas, and Yellowstone had me curious about some geography question for the state of Montana.
Okay. All right. Well, that's correct. And we did have a question from YouTube, but they were wondering what type of Dots pretzels you got there. Are those the honey mustard kind?
They are the honey mustard pretzels.
Okay.
And they are absolutely fantastic, folks.
They are. That's a free ad there, but we'll keep talking. Montana takes on the 14 seed South Dakota State. South Dakota State has their quarterback Chase Mason back, and they looked locked and loaded and ready. Montana is a 2.5-point favorite in this game. And this is a spot where it feels like Bobby Hauck likes to screw things up, and he would totally lose this game. Do you think that happens on Saturday? The game is going to be in Missoula.
So do I think South Dakota State pulls off the upset?
Yes.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Oh. Ooh. All right. Well,
you know why, Dylan? Just for the sheer fact that they have a higher recruiting class than Penn State this year. Penn State's at 149. The Jackrabbits are at 148. And I think they're going to pull off the upset.
There's a lot of McNeese State has a higher recruiting class ranking than Penn State does.
Oh,
South Dakota State also has a higher recruiting class ranking. I think NDSU ended up passing them as well. So
that puts a smile on my face.
Yeah. But
yeah, I'm just for no reason besides I need an upset in this round. Give me the Jacks.
Okay. I had Villanova. I think Missoula is the toughest place in college football or in the FCS to play. Tough to win. We're going to see how they react to the loud crowd. I think that's going to account for some issues. I think Chase Mason's going to get thrown into a crowd. We're going to see how he reacts. His first time, he's going to be facing a real team. New Hampshire was awful, and the reason why they were one of the last 4 teams in. I think Montana, I think they've also got a really good offense. I think their defense gets just enough stops to hold on, and Montana ends South Dakota State's season. So give me the Grizz to move on, which keeps chugging along to our dream scenario of a Montana State semifinal. And probably one of the best matchups of this second round after the Montana and South Dakota State, we've got Stephen F. Austin versus Abilene Christian. Abilene Christian beat Stephen F. Austin in the regular season. This game is going to be played at Stephen F. Austin's home field. Who do you got winning this one? The Lumberjacks, or I think they're the Wildcats? I can't remember now.
From Abilene?
Yes, Abilene Christian is the Wild.
Well,
I'll let you pick and I'll look it up.
Just one of the hottest songs on the radio right now is, Ella Langley's Choosing Texas, and she takes her man back to Abilene. So I'm taking Abilene Christian because we love Ella Langley. And I love that song, Dylan.
That's Grant's horny. All right.
Can you blame me?
No, not for Ella Langley. Guilty.
Not for Ella Langley. No.
I would I think Stephen F. Austin gets their revenge. Give me the Lumberjacks to beat Abilene Christian. And
Dylan, you just want a Lumberjack to bust through the door like Will Ferrell and Step Brothers to come pick you up.
2 different types of horny, Grant.
Yes, it is.
Now we've got a coastal battle. And this one's going to be on ESPN2 at 9:00. Grant, I know you're excited and you're going to be staying up for this one. Once the Big Ten title game ends, you can flip over to ESPN2 and watch UC Davis take on Rhode Island.
Wow. That's a trip for Rhode Island. Is the game in California?
It is in California, yes.
Okay. Um, Rhode Island going across country. I don't care. Give me UC Davis.
UC Davis, okay. Now my brain would say to pick UC Davis, but there are these podcasters that are just absolute idiots and hate NDSU that are former Rhode Island players.
Yes.
And whoever wins, their season is going to be ending in Fargo next week. And I want Rhode Island's season to end next week in Fargo and shut those dudes up. So give me Rhode Island. And to round out the final, we saved the best for last. We got number 1 seed NDSU taking on Illinois State. Now it's going to be a rematch. NDSU 133-15. NDSU kind of struggled in the first half. Illinois State moved the ball, and then in the second half, the defense adjusted and kind of overwhelmed Illinois State. I think just the way this team is I think they remember that they didn't play their best against Illinois State. And I think that NDSU is going to come out with their hair on fire, and they're going to come ready to go, and they're going to go handle Illinois State very handily, and the Bison are going to be moving on to next week.
I agree. I'll give you a score, Dylan. I know you didn't ask for one, but I'll give you one. NDSU 38, Illinois State 7.
Okay, 38-7. All right. Well, that wraps up the FCS. Let's go up to the FBS, and we're going to start with Friday's games. We're going to be picking all the conference championships. That's just what we do. We'll start with the Sun Belt. James Madison versus Troy. James Madison, 23.5-point favorites. Do you think their coach taking the UCLA job will be a distraction for the Dukes?
And a distraction maybe in the fact where they don't cover the 23.5. But the Dukes are still winning this football game. And I think they have the best group of 5 chance of getting in. So we'll see. They maybe keep their season alive in that aspect.
Okay, I'm with you. I got James Madison winning. Conference USA, we got Kennesaw State, 2.5-point favorites over Jacksonville State. A couple of former FCS teams playing for a Conference USA crown.
You know, I feel good for Kennesaw State because they used to be the laughingstock of people talking about the rebuild for college football, Dylan. They're like, you clearly aren't ready for the Kennesaw State rebuild. Well, you're not ready for Kennesaw State to win Conference USA. Give me Jacksonville State.
Yep, same. Give me Jacksonville State. The American Conference, North Texas, 2.5-point favorites over Tulane. Both coaches are going to be moving on. North Texas to Oklahoma State, Tulane over to Florida here. Who do you got winning the American, Grant?
So I think John Summerall is going to be more distracted with his new job because it's Florida. There's a lot more pressure. North Texas's coach is going to Oklahoma State. He's going to have a little more leeway to really truly build that thing because I think the Cowboys won a game this year. So since Summerall was more distracted, I'm taking the Mean Green in North Texas to win the American.
You got the Mean Green? Not so fast,
yes.
My friend. Give me the Green Wave.
Ooh.
They're fighting for a playoff spot. I think they find a way to pull her out. The rounding out the Friday games, we're going to go over to the Mountain West. Potential NDSU foes, Boise State versus UNLV. Boise State, a 4.5-point favorite over UNLV. I might add Jason Eck, the New Mexico coach, just signed an extension. Great job in year 1 turning around a dormant football program, making them a winner. Got absolutely screwed because of computer rankings as to why they are not playing in the Mountain West Championship here, I might add. I believe Boise State got in over them, but who do you have winning the Mountain West?
I think year 1 in Dan Mullen, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. I'm going to take the Rebels to get revenge from last year's loss.
All right. You know what? My dad, when he went to high school in Richardton, North Dakota, they were the Rebels. UNLV is the Rebels. Give me the Rebels to win the Mountain West.
Yep.
And let's go over to the 5 games on Saturday. We'll start with the MAC. 10 a.m. Mountain Time on ESPN. We got Western Michigan, 2.5-point favorite over Miami of Ohio.
The better question is this game at Ford Field?
I believe this game will be at Ford Field, as it always is.
Oh, okay. Oh, perfect. Life is good. Western Michigan's against Miami of Ohio?
Yes.
Give me the Broncos. I'll go Western Michigan.
You know what? Some Michigan team has to be the team from Ohio. It unfortunately isn't the Wolverines, so it's got to be the Broncos. I'm with you. Give me the Broncos to beat the Red Hawks. Also at the same time, but this one's on ABC. We talked about it earlier with the playoff rankings. The Texas Tech Red Raiders, 12.5-point favorites against the BYU Cougars. Who do you got in this one?
Texas Tech, their defense is it's too big and too strong for BYU. I think this game will be closer than the one that was in Lubbock, but Texas Tech is going to pull away late. Give me the Red Raiders by 14.
I'm with you. Ooh, and covering.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that I think so. I think that is the case as well. I just think that BYU gave Texas Tech all they could handle, and I think it's just a bad matchup for BYU. So give me the Raiders to roll over the Cougars, and let's go to the. We'll skip ahead to one of the night games, and we'll finish with the two best ones. The ACC, which I can't believe that we even have to discuss this game. 6 p.m. on ABC. Virginia, 3.5-point favorites versus Duke. Who you got in this one?
Dylan, if you go back to August, my surprise team or team I'm buying stock in out of the ACC was the Duke Blue Devils.
You did. That's right.
Uh-huh. They are going to shake up the college football playoff and steal a playoff spot from the ACC. Manny Diaz and the Duke Blue Devils at 8-5 after this game are going to be your ACC champs.
As much as I want college football to change, there's times I don't want it to change.
And this is why I don't want it to change.
You know what? Virginia had the best field storm of the season, and they're going to be the best team in the ACC. Give me the Cavaliers. And then let's go back to the afternoon slate. The SEC, we got Alabama versus Georgia. Georgia, 2.5-point favorites. Alabama beat Georgia, ended Georgia's home winning streak earlier in the year. Does Alabama get the best of Georgia for the second time in a season? And that would extend Alabama's win streak over Georgia to 4.
Yeah, ever since the national championship game.
Yep.
Yeah. Kalen DeBoer is a funny guy. He dominates Dan Lanning, dominates Steve Sarkisian, and Kirby Smart, but has a problem with Brent Venables. Well, this Georgia defense is getting better, but the Georgia defense I don't think is as good as Oklahoma's. And Georgia's offense has been too up and down this year against a fast, aggressive Alabama defense. I think Gunnar Stockton is going to make a couple more mistakes than Ty Simpson. I got the Tide winning this game, Dylan. And I'm going to take Alabama winning the SEC.
You're rolling with the Tide, as am I. For those same exact reason. Kirby Smart has an Alabama problem, and for whatever reason, he can't shake it. For some reason, Alabama always seems to play better and play up in these bigger games. I think DeBoer is a big game coach. He's going to have them ready to go. I think Alabama was maybe looking a little bit ahead, even though it was the Iron Bowl, knowing that they get to play Georgia again. And I got Alabama winning it, and it's also going to shake up the college football playoff world here. So let's go to the final one. We've got the Big Ten, 6 p.m. on Fox. Ohio State, 4-point favorites over the Indiana Hoosiers. Who you got?
This game, Dylan, is going to remind me of what the Big Ten is. It's going to be a slobber knocker. It's going to be ugly. Like what you like to say, it'll be a glass chewing kind of a rock fight, a chewing glass game. It's going to come down to. I honestly think it's going to be 20-17 because these are two of the best defenses in the country. And two head coaches. Well, and just also the Kurt Signetti and his offensive staff versus Matt Patricia game is going to be fantastic. But Patricia's going to pull something out that Indiana hasn't seen yet this year. And Ohio State's roster is just that much better. It's just more talented than Indiana's. So Ohio State, for the first time since pre-COVID, gets a win in Indianapolis. So Ohio State will win the Big Ten this year.
Yeah, that one I've bounced around. I think it's going to come down to which defense is able to rattle the quarterback. Saying hasn't really been rattled this year. Mendoza's been a little bit more battle tested. We're going to see if that's able to pay off. But the problem with Ohio State and the argument is they haven't been a close game. It's because they handle their business. They're just
they're smashing people,
workmanlike in everything they do. Where they go out, they take care of business, they get a big lead, and they kind of coast the rest of the way. They're able to run the ball effectively enough to where they can extend drive. There's still always a threat to throw the ball between Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, Ben Innes, their receivers. And the other part of it is we still have yet to see Kurt Signetti win a big game. Outside of that Oregon win, which I'll give him that one. But in these big games, if you go back to when he was that coach at James Madison, he has never won a game like this, and I can't count him on to do it. So I've got Ohio State winning this game similar to you. I got him winning 2017, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think in these big moments, it's just the coaching mismatch is what's going to shine brightest. Where you have Ryan Day and this whole Ohio State staff, and then Patricia with all those years in the NFL. Well, I know he won 2 as a coordinator. I don't know if he was on this Patriots staff those early years when they won him as like a quality control coach or whatever. But
I think he was
a big game in Indianapolis. It's nothing Matt Patricia can't handle. So I think Ohio State, like we said, is going to end up winning the Big Ten this year.
Yes, let me see. Let's go on to YouTube here and see what he was. No, so he was 04-05. He was the assistant O-line coach for the Patriots. So when they beat the Eagles, he was on that staff. Well, and the Panthers.
There you go.
So that
the Panthers was the 03 regular. The Panthers was the 03 regular season.
You're right. Yeah. So 04, he was part of the Eagles.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, Grant, let's kick it over to you. Actually, also, we do have a question. This is specifically for you. Who is your Brazzers Bowl? Who do you have playing in the Brazzers Bowl this year?
Oh, probably the OnlyFans girls from.
Also, so you have to pick 2 teams, but after that, who is your pick for the Brazzers Casting Couch halftime show?
Oh wow! Oh, this is good. So definitely the University of Arizona.
Or is it Arizona
definitely
State?
The University of Arizona. No, we're gonna go. Oh, God, that's a good question. I'm gonna stick with Arizona. I'm gonna go with the Wildcats
Okay.
because there will be a kitty on the run that night, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh,
And and they will be playing University of South Florida.
University. Okay. All right. I was
Yep,
debating
University of
between South Florida or Central
Yep,
Florida.
yep. We're
You
gonna
could
go South
you could
Florida. We're gonna
maybe
go with the
even make an
Bulls.
argument about Florida International because Pitbull is like the lead.
Yes, he is.
He's got
Well,
the naming rights
Pitbull
to the
could be my
stadium, isn't it?
Pitbull. He does. Pitbull could be my halftime show.
Oh,
Actually,
there you go.
yep. So we're gonna go with the South Florida Bulls against the Arizona Wildcats, and Pitbull is my halftime entertainment.
All right. There it is. All right. Well, what is your curveball of the week?
So, Dylan, it's getting cold outside. It's snowing. I want to know, what is your perfect lineup for a snow day? Like if it rains, if it's snowing on a Saturday and you can't leave the house. I want to know what's your perfect day looking like.
Oh God. It depends. Is it football season or is it not? Because if it's football season, I mean,
It's not foot.
it doesn't matter if it's a snow
it's not-
day or not. I'm sitting my ass on the couch and watching football for 15 hours.
Nope. Sorry, it's not football season.
Okay.
Football season is over. It's the first week in February. There's no football on. No college, no NFL, no football.
Okay. Well, there would be a lot of Xbox played. I would have some type of show on one of my other TVs, which Mad Men is now on HBO Max, so I might have to finally get into that. Because I haven't finished the full season. So maybe do that. Maybe start reading a book. I'm sure it'll involve some sort of shoveling, which would be, I guess, count as my exercise for the day. Working on my putting, chipping my chipping green. Maybe I think that's what it would be. I think that's about as much as I could get done for a snow day.
Well, I know the first thing I'm doing, I'm waking up right away and I'm working out at the house. We're doing some push-ups. We're doing some core work.
Many?
I might even get some of. We'll do about 500 of those push-ups.
Oh, show off here.
Yeah, show off here. Well, you know what? We got these nice legs from the comment earlier. The chest has to match the legs. So, we're gonna get after it. And then, who knows? We might even, like I said, grab some of the dumbbells, do some lunges, get a little leg work in, right there. And then we're gonna have some sort of breakfast. Throw on a show that I'm watching, maybe watch a couple podcasts that I got to catch up on. And then also, we're taking a fat nap.
Oh, yeah. How many
We're
hours?
taking a fat afternoon, at least an hour. And it might be, actually, Dylan, it might be workout, breakfast, watch a show, a podcast, then shovel, come back in from shoveling, take a nap. And then after that, wake, and then, you know what? Might get a little afternoon shower in there from all the work and get something to warm me up. And then we're just going to chill the night away, finding something on the TV and falling asleep on the couch by 8:45.
That sounds like a good day.
It sounds like a perfect snow day to me.
That does. That's not a bad one. Hopefully we don't have anytime soon, so I don't have to worry about that. But since we do have a very
if we do have one, Dylan, in the next 6 weeks, that's all right because football's on.
That's true. Yeah. But that's no different than if there's snow on the ground or not. It could be 100 degrees outside, and if there's football on, I'm probably going to be watching that.
Yeah, but I guess that's what I'm saying is we'd rather have that snow day now during football season. Let's say when the first weekend of the college football playoff is on, you got a game on Friday, 3 games Saturday. If it's a Saturday, boom, there's your day right there.
Good point.
Oh, shit. It's
That is
snowing.
true.
I have to stay in. I have to stay inside my house all day, Mom, and watch football. What a shame.
But that's a good point. But since we've had such an active chat tonight, we'll open it up. We've never done this before, but are there any questions in the chat that you guys would like to answer? Like answered. Let's see here.
Oh, there's got to be.
But I'm not really seeing any right now. It's gotten quiet here, so they've got about 30 seconds to start asking them, or I'm gonna close it off. Now it says hold on. 30 seconds. You have till 8:26 because I can't. If you had to choose, I'm not. I can't. We're not going to answer that question on the air. Gee, I should have thought this better. I feel like now I'm on Kiffin's Crimson Corner and it's a public access show.
Oh God, that was so good. Take these oatmeal cream pies down your throat. Oh, by the way, your wife's got nice tits.
Nice tits, bitch.
Dylan, ask me that question. Ask me that question when we're done recording, please.
I will, but all right. Grant, are you eating it from the front or the back?
From the front.
All right. Well, I think that wraps up this week's episode of the Three Guys Talking Ball podcast. We gave the people what they wanted. We answered the question here. But thank you to everybody who has tuned in. We truly appreciate it. We're going to be back next week. Make sure you follow us and subscribe on all of our social medias, GT Podcast. That's where you can find us. And thank you guys again for tuning in. We'll talk to you next